you as a roofer, if you can say exactly what you want, it sounds like some sci-fi movie, but it's true. The AI can now write the code. You say what you want. Hey, clone this thing from this site. The AI writes the code. I can show you right now.
Hello, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. I think we're just waiting for Dennis to get on.
Yeah, I got another guy who's supposed to be joining us too, Ben.
I'm in here.
All right, there he is.
Yeah.
How's your guys' day going so far?
Well, it's coming to an end where we're at. Where are you located at?
I'm in Tampa.
All right, well, you're within us, aren't you? Yeah, you are. You're yeah, it's coming to an end. We got, what was the day before yesterday? We had 75 degrees, and now we got a bunch of snow and weather yesterday. So it was 75 degrees before, and yeah, now we had 8 inches of snow and ice and stuff yesterday. So crazy weather.
Hey, Dennis.
Hey, Parker. It's John.
Yep, how are you doing, sir?
Good, good.
Good. I got Ben on here too. Ben's my GM for my roofing company. You on there, Ben?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. Just want to make sure you're still there. Yeah, we had people mentioned your name on the comment on the Tommy Mallow link, and we've been talking about how do we utilize and enhance our marketing, and where else can we utilize it in, and so I thought it'd be worth a conversation with somebody who knows a lot more than us. Look, you were probably one of the more respected guys in the industry, maybe speaking on it. So I would reach out to you.
Good. We're happy to help, and we'll give you everything that we have.
That's great. Yeah, I own a couple other mattress company, mattress retail store. We got 3 stores that we so far in process opening, and then a chain of beauty supply stores. It's retail, and then, I mean, although everybody says retail, it's far from dead. We've been doing real well, but anywhere that, once again, and we have visions of growing a roofing company or starting HVAC companies. We're just looking at how we can best utilize, AI, and if there are better ways of, and you can give us a better detail as to exactly what it is you do and everything you do, and we can see how we can work together.
Well, we're big fans of bringing everything in-house, and especially because you own multiple companies. It makes sense to consolidate and not be dependent upon agencies.
I agree.
Not because of cost, not because, what control, but you just want you need to know that sales are predictable and that things. So if you're up with that, and if you have an in-house team, or if you're growing an in-house team, we would love to power that. Yeah,
we do have, or I would say we're kind of a hybrid right now. Our beauty business has one-time marketing person on staff, and then there's one lady we outsource. Kind of, I would guess we're probably 80+% of our business, but she takes care of a lot of our online socials and stuff for all 3 businesses, actually 4 businesses. I forgot about my home inspection company, but
got 26 businesses. It's hard to remember them all, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a bad. I got that ADD thing going on. No, just hire great people. Ben, as an example, the young guy. He's my nephew. He's worked for me for coming up on 3 years, and just a rock star, and has a huge potential. He's very young, but he's very well. He's old, but he's wise beyond his age, and but he needs some leadership and some. I just got to put him with the right people to help accomplish what we want done. And you could potentially fill one of those gaps pretty well.
Well, I would love to see Ben and Parker collaborate on the same wavelength.
Yeah, excellent.
Both younger folks that we trust.
Yeah, give us a little
entrepreneurs.
Give us your background. What are you about?
I'm just an old-time search engine engineer. I retired 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I love that, with Tommy Mello or Lance Bachman or whatever it is. And I'm all about creating jobs and transparency in the home services, in the trades. And it's not that I don't like, Rhino or One SEO or all the players. It's that there's a lack of transparency and a lack of like a certification in what we do. And anything else is a certification. You have to get some kind of license to fly a plane or, do what, you cut someone's hair. But in digital marketing, there is. So we've been publishing standards, and people like Google and Facebook and Instagram and all the other major players like the GoDaddies are all in agreement on this. And we put together a lot of joint training with these companies. So that way It has nothing to do with, oh, well, Dennis says that it has nothing to do with that. It's a clear standard. Anyone can audit themselves at any time. So there's no room for this expert guru sort of status, right? It's like a fat person stepping on the scale. Don't tell me how skinny you are. Just step on the scale. Let me see the number.
Yeah, yeah. It's I've owned a lot of business, 40 some, and I've dealt with a lot of marketing firms. And what you're saying is so true. It's like, they're pretty good at telling me what they're capable of doing. Very, very poor of showing what they're capable of doing.
So John, there's there's a reason for that generally in marketing companies are organized. They usually have two layers. There's kind of it's like a car dealership. There's a salesperson, and that person's trained to sell and will say whatever and, go to the manager and give you a deal and, all that kind of stuff. And then in the back, you have mechanics. But the mechanics, you never want them to talk to the customer because they have grease on their hands and they don't ask you about, how your weekend and your baby. And, they don't know how to talk to the customer. And I've always wanted to destroy that model and I'm not saying sales isn't important, but that in digital marketing, especially with AI, like you mentioned, it should be practitioners only. So anyone that we train and work with, it's not like, oh, what percent of the deals can you close? Like I understand home services, you send people out, they get paid, and you have all kinds of companies that will, look at who was I with last week in Orlando? What's his face? Who's got he's a $1 billion company now. He's got the AI voice along. What's the thing called? It's not a rhino, hippopotamus. No, what's it called?
Rhino, elephant.
One of those sorts of like African safari names.
Yeah.
He's got a company that just does that, and it's looking at how will people sell. But here, let me just show you. So when you look at any site, Red Rhino Roofs, you might look at this and say, okay, it looks like it's okay, but I might notice that it's copyright 2023. I might notice that some of these things are horribly misspelled, right? I might notice whatever, things like that. But what if you could just come in and say, you know what? This site ranks on only keywords for these particular roof terms, and it comes from mainly the homepage. And then here for asphalt. And then you've got a mix of commercial and residential. And of course, you do solar and these other things, which is right. If you come here and click on Red Rhino Solar, broken, right? But these are all easy things to spot. And in the same way, you said you want to buy and sell an HVAC company or whatever in the trades. When you go out to a customer, you're going to do an estimate, right? And the estimate is looking at what the situation is and saying, well, based on this is what we're going to do. And so in the medical world, we call that metrics analysis action. Like you're a patient, you come into the emergency room, we do an x-ray and we say, well, Ben, it looks you broke your collarbone skiing or something, right? Or John, it looks like, your vitamin C levels are too low or something like that, right? And as a result, here's the plan. I think the same thing should be done in digital marketing, but that's not being done. The packages that are being sold. So you're mentioning AI. We could look at any one of these. Like you were an inspector for a long time, and then you partner with, your guy runs a roofing company and these other companies. But let's just say, for example, this is your location service page for roof installation, right? And you've got multiple locations, but you're not linking to GMBs. But let's just say for now, this is a page you have on roof installation, right? If I copy this and I go to one of our AI tools, and which is the one, this one. No, that's the builder, which is our grader. Move this out further. Look at this. Red Rhino roofing. Great. By the way, any of these things we have, we'll give to you because I just love doing this. It's fun.
Yeah.
But you'll find, according to Google, which is about EEAT and whatnot, this is like me giving you a subjective thing like, oh, I think your baby's beautiful. Not like it clearly includes and doesn't include certain things and tells you how to fix it.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And if I give you a folder with pictures, videos, testimonials, marks, could you improve this page? And of course, and open placeholders for all of that, right? And you know that you can upload stuff, right?
Yeah.
Drive these things, right? So what you need to do across, your beauty salons and this one and your inspection company and the other companies you have is maybe Ben or someone that Ben works with, or that the freelancer who's like 80% of whatever, you're 80% of your stuff. Or maybe you have a young adult, maybe someone who's graduated college and doesn't know what they want to do, and they can learn how to do all of this and just have them run through our training, and then we'll supervise it and get everything fixed. So easy.
So is that what you do? Is that what your company's about? Running a training company to teach people this stuff, or do you do the full service marketing?
We do that too, but unlike these other agencies, it's all month to month. It's fully transparent. You own all the data, and none of the other agencies offer any of this kind of bring your own person to train along with us because they're organized in the salesperson, mechanic in the back kind of that when you have that two-tier structure, it's impossible to train up other people because the
Yeah,
person you're talking to, you're the client, you're talking to a salesperson, that salesperson doesn't have the expertise to do it.
yeah. I think who I said she's that 80% person. She's the one that manages our Google. She's the one that, helps on our website. She did not build them, so I don't hold her responsible. But she's but she works with socials. She doesn't build the websites, but she would be the one I would probably put in touch with you to, and even I'd pay for her to have your guys' service.
Yeah. And then if you have another person to work alongside Aaron, we never believe in having just one person in the role for many reasons.
Right.
You could also hire a VA from the Philippines, someone for $500 a month full time working just for you.
Crazy.
And that's a lot of money in the Philippines, Pakistan. We have this group. It's called Digital Marketing with Dennis Yu, and there's 40,000 people in here. A lot of people from the Philippines and Pakistan and home
You
service.
show us how to utilize those folks.
Yeah.
Okay.
You hire them, help you do all this kind of stuff. And here you'll see that people are constantly posting, they're sharing what they're learning. Look, even Parker built this. Parker built this. Christopher, the local website auditor, right? Could have put in that one too. Here, Lewis. Lewis does, what does he do? Remodeling? One of the other ones. Blue Crocus. I forgot what he does. I think it's like remodeling.
Yeah.
How do you do? Like, hey, I need to hire some people. Matt Platt wants to hire, right? All these people want to hire. Like, he's a pool service guy, right? All these people want to, it's all training and hiring this group.
Do you help? I mean, utilizing AI is there ways aside from running your hiring through AI? Is there other ways that you're utilizing AI that we don't even think about?
Well, you use AI in this is the way to think about AI, John. Any role that you would have a human, you would have an AI, except where it's physically required to be there, right?
Right.
So answering the phone, onboarding clients, saying thank you, doing your digital marketing, running ads, like pretty much anything that doesn't have physical presence.
Yeah.
And we just had a podcast this morning with Perry Marshall. Perry Marshall's the 80/20 guy, right? The OG when it comes to digital marketing. And he was showing how AI is rapidly replacing all of these marketing sorts of the lower end people are done, right? Because the AI can already do it better, cheaper, faster, all the rest of that. And the funny thing is the agencies are the most backwards. They're like Uber drivers that don't realize self-driving is really close. It's around the corner.
Yeah.
They're like, no, digital marketing's going to be around forever because these like plumbers and roofers, they're so backwards. They'll always want to keep buying from a person. You know what? You could say that about Grandpa for a little bit. At a certain point, they know what's going on.
Yeah. Do you happen to know a sales guru by the name of Tom Hopkins? Do you remember that? Yeah. It's funny. You were talking about old timers, but Tom Hopkins was like in the 80s and 90s. He was like the let's see, he'd be like the God, who's like the main sales guy today, like the Andy Elliott of today. He's he's presented over 6 million people in his life. Anyway, he came here to Omaha to a group of roofers yesterday, and the guy is just old timer, old school, but old school sales processes, but a lot of them still are speak the truth of how you sell people. But I do think there's a way that how do we utilize? He didn't speak on any of this, but how do we utilize AI in our sales process or lead generation? How do we utilize it to make our phones ring and or answer our phones?
Yep.
So that's the stuff we're excited about that we don't know yet.
So there's AI that we need to learn how to use and implement at different aspects of our business. And there's AI that the networks themselves are using to be able to help us. And most people don't understand there's a difference between the two. So for example, you probably have seen that Google has made some big changes with their local service ads. right? Especially in roofing and other categories like that, where it's largely dependent upon the data they're getting from your GMB organically. The reviews are coming from your GMB. It's not separate anymore. LSA is an extent, right? Local service ads are an extension of your GMB. So the AI from Google is now deciding who, if I type in roof replacement Omaha, Google gets to decide based on who's relevant, who's closer, who has the most recent reviews, who, all that kind of stuff. Same thing for running any kind of ad. It's driven by AI now. Same thing for being in the news feed. It's all driven by AI, by what you're doing and who you're connecting with and who's in your network and all that. And then
Right.
our side of the AI, so that's AI to benefit Google and Facebook and all them. Then our side of the AI is what are all the things that we were doing that could be augmented? So speed delete, right? So, the Andy Elliott's and the Chuck Thokes of the world will say, you got to answer the phone within 60 seconds. Well, we've seen that happen in a lot of industries where the AI can answer the phone, whether it's after hours or whatever it is. And sometimes people prefer that.
Yeah.
The AI can tune the ad campaigns. The AI can fix the website and all the issues that are here, right?
One thing that pops to the top of my head is on our home inspection company and our company, we don't have an online scheduler. We use, to ones today,
Yeah.
the ones have is they go, oh, home inspection, they can click between, 2 and 4 or 4 and 6. Okay. And then type in some information, but can't get all the details of like, how big the house is and how long it's going to take. But where I think with AI, it'd say, hey, the age of the house, it's going to take this long. It's going to, it's this many square feet. It's this far away. And with the AI technology, you could probably get pretty precise on your schedule to allow people really book online without even talking to anybody.
Yeah, all of the schedulers and the CRMs are building in AI to be able to customize those forms and route leads and qualify prospects and this kind of thing. And I think that's mainly going to come from whatever CRM or back office system you're as
Yeah.
opposed to you like bolting on a separate third-party chat bot here, which you could do, or go high level or whatnot, right?
Yeah, our home inspection software and our CRM was custom built by a guy, and he's got skills, but he ain't got maybe I'm underrating him, but he hasn't got some of the AI skills. He just hasn't been. It's not his thing yet. But we just talked to him here yesterday about building us a online scheduler that we would tie into our CRM immediately, so people could book themselves.
Yeah,
But I would love to be able to know that we could build AI directly into that while we're building that.
you can. My buddy Marco just launched same thing using AI. It's not HVAC quote. What's the name of the thing? That's not that quote. That's not it. That's not the name of the suit. Anyway, he just used AI to build the scheduling for a system for HVAC companies that don't want to do it through Service Titan. So, a scheduler is a scheduler. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
Whatever tool you want to, you just customize it. The beauty, if there's open source or whatnot, it's pretty easy, even if you don't write code, to have the AI write the code for you.
Yeah. Fuck, you're speaking French to me. I'm a roofer and a home inspector, so I don't know a lot about that stuff. But
Well, it's literally like this, and even Parker has learned this because Parker didn't come from an engineering background. What AI has done, the biggest thing, which has scared a lot of these Silicon Valley people, is the AI eliminates the technical barrier between you and getting technical implementation. So people like me have a lot of code in my life. Now, like even Sam Altman, Elon Musk say the coding language of 2025 is English. So you as a roofer, if you can say what you want, it sounds like some sci-fi movie, but it's true. The AI can now write the code. You say what you want. Hey, clone this thing from this site. The AI writes the code. I can show you right now. What build me an app that's this and that. Give it to me in Python. Spin it up
yeah.
through whatever system you want to put it through, AWS or Replit or whatnot.
Okay.
All
So
you need to know is whatever you want, the AI can write the code or clone someone else's software or give you the integration. You don't have to, it's like the whole like, oh, I'm a roofer and I don't understand this technical thing. That barrier has gone away.
how do we move forward to start working together to start this stuff happen?
So there's a lot of stuff that, you came to me initially because you want AI, you want to improve the marketing, you want to bring things in-house, you want to equip Ben. I want to do all things. I would say the first step, though, is make sure you have control over your digital plumbing. Just make sure you have all your assets, you have all of the analytics, you're measuring where all the calls are coming from, and you're associating all the costs with all the revenue so you can calculate profitability for your businesses all the way down to the call, down to the technician, down to, custom CRMs that you have for home inspection or roofing or whatever you have. I want to know you have all those pieces together. If all the data is together, then when we fix the website, when we create more content, when we do, tune the ads, whatever it might be, then we can measure the impact. Because if we, chase all these cool AI things, oh, put a scheduler here, do this widget there, let's go on TikTok now, let's do this, let's do that. You can do all these things, but then you don't really know what's effective.
Right. I would say, I mean, as far as knowing our financials, I think our beauty business is pretty tight. I have an outsourced CFO company that manages all of our, and he's pretty anal on numbers. So we got to get in my GM there, get all of our, and our business is primarily retail products. We're not really salons, even though we have people in our stores. We're 95% retail.
Yeah.
But that's measured pretty good. I would say the roofing's pretty tight. It's getting better because I brought that same CFO organization into my other companies here in the last few months to tighten up the numbers, probably much like you're asking for, to have a better understanding of where those numbers are at. So, and I'd say also on the mattress, the snooze mattress company is that same thing. So I would say we're pretty good. Can we get better? Probably, but pretty detailed.
All right. Well, John, that's what people commonly will tell us. They say our digital plumbing is great.
Yeah.
Every time without exception. Ashley Furniture, Nike, Allstate Insurance, Starbucks, all of these, you would think they have it down.
Yeah.
Or not just like, oh, we found a couple small things.
Yeah.
But fundamental flaws to fix.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not saying I'm far from saying we got it perfect. I'm open to saying that a lot of room for improvement.
So the proof of it is not whether someone says, oh yeah, it's like a fat person saying like, I'm skinny. Like, I really? Well, let's see what pixels and tags you have, right? Let's see whether that tracking's in place. Let's see, and it could be your beauty supply. It could be any of these, right?
Right.
Can we find that information? So let's just say Beauty First Nebraska, right? You got a bunch of stores here.
Yep.
Oh, you do have some Facebook pixels. Why do you have 3?
Probably to the different store locations is my guess.
Typically don't want to do it per store. You do it per ad account. But we have this thing.
I think they were started that way, and then they didn't want to lose. Don't quote me because I don't know what I'm talking about specifically, but they didn't want to lose the data that was tied to those accounts.
So we have courses which are SOPs on implementing all of these things. For example, for digital plumbing, right? And then it's just going through this and making sure, like, do you have the tag manager set up with all the tags inside it, UTM parameters, conversion tracking, back to the point of sale, or wherever you're collecting the money from the customers, right? So we can match source of money to the marketing. We are so big on training that we have 150 some courses on how we do all of this. Like, here's the digital plumbing course in here, and see all the different modules. And so any of the people that want to learn how to do this, learn how to run ads, build websites, do whatever, they have to go through these and get certifications, just like you want to be a plumber, right?
Right.
But we also have done. But I would recommend, okay, if you have, let's just say you have these items done, or maybe a couple things are out of date, or maybe a couple things are missing, then that's great, right? But either way, we would want to, it's like a trust but verify.
Yep.
Make sure you have, and then have it across the businesses. Maybe you have some kind of consolidated weekly or monthly P&L that you get from each of the businesses that you own.
Yep.
Does that trace back to the source of marketing so we can see marketing effectiveness?
No, they don't. I mean, we don't have an immediate marketing. I know on our beauty business, it's the soft. So our beauty business was a franchise organization we bought. I bought it 12 years ago, 15 years ago. It quit a franchise and ended up I bought what was left of it, which the stores closed 2 of them. Still have 5 stores, but in process of opening 2 new ones right now. But their software was a proprietary software. Worked it's and I've been trying to find another provider of software because that software was literally written in MS DOS.
Oh, wow.
Originally. Yeah, it's been crazy old, and we haven't been able to get anybody to rewrite it to this type of software. And you think we just go out and, well, there's stuff on the market. Well, we've been through probably 10 different providers, and ultimately all get to a point where they can't do something that we need. Our business runs on right now. We're 95% of the way down the road with what we think to be the right one. So hopefully in that business, we'll have that allow us to be, pretty detailed about tracking revenue, where today that's one of the main things. That's one of the things that the software tracks is we don't know where our customers are, coming from. We don't have the ability to market to them through our software.
Well, usually there's two systems. There's one that's kind of the point of sale operations, retail side of things, and then there's another marketing system, and then those two have to talk to each other.
Yeah.
One is, driving the sales, and the other one's collecting the money, right?
Yeah.
In almost every business, you have these two softwares that have to connect. And if you don't connect it, then you have no idea where your sales are coming from.
Right.
But yeah, ideally, if you get this rebuilt or hopefully not get stuck on some legacy system, then it's pretty easy then, hopefully, to integrate with Google and Facebook and all the other places where the traffic comes from, right?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't, this, the owner of the business, there's certain things I know and there's a lot of I know, and I'm not responsible for, personally most of it, but, my theory would be is I put you in touch with my team members that are responsible for that and see how we go about getting it done.
Yeah. Well, you have multiple businesses, so I would say we should prioritize efforts where we think we get the best bang for the buck. And you got Ben here because you believe in him.
Yeah, and I would say the roofing company is that's our largest revenue. It's our largest source of revenue income, but it's also where I feel like we probably have the most. So,
are you running local service ads?
What's that?
Are you running local service ads for your roofing company?
I couldn't tell you.
That should be, from a marketing standpoint, that should be the number one thing in roofing.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, they do door to door or billboards or referrals or whatnot, but
yeah, we've done all those. We over the winter we don't run service ads. I know that, but I know once we get 6 of snow on the ground right now, so we don't want to spend money on ads this time of year. But once the season starts, we will be running ads. But I know we need to be better.
I think local service ads is the best thing. And yes, there's seasonality, or maybe there's a hurricane, so now there's roof damage and the insurance company's involved and all that. But even with that, the demand, because with search, because it's driven by intent, I don't think we have to worry so much about trying to increase or decrease the budget because it's subject to people searching the keywords that we want, right?
Yeah.
If there are more people searching Omaha roof replacement, assuming that this is a good query, then we want to be there, right? And then, of course, here's all the related sorts of things people are searching for. And there's different places we can win. Here's the regular ads, local 3-pack, right, which is Google Maps, PAA. So one thing I want, Ben, right? I want you to look at this. You see where it says people also ask?
Yep.
So I searched Omaha roof replacement, and it's telling us, well, people who search for this also search for, well, how much does a new roof cost in Omaha, Nebraska? How much should a roofing job cost? What time of year is it cheapest to replace a roof? Is $30,000 too much for a roof? So you can get a sense of why Google's telling us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I were to maybe not ask John, but ask any of the technicians or any people who answer the phone or any of the installers, or maybe you're the general manager, you can answer all these questions, right? If we looked at the most common queries that you have, do you think that you could give a 1-minute answer to all these related sorts of terms that people are looking for?
Most likely, yeah.
But then if you look at your site, you don't answer those questions here, right? Stuff about windows and replacements and this is like ChatGPT content, right? That doesn't actually reflect your experience. Even though you guys have been a long time, all that, this is kind of generic content. See, generic. You're a leader, and if you're looking for one of the roofers, and we're your ideal roofing partner, roofing techniques, current industry standards, this is all puffery, right? So if we want to use AI tools properly, we would go through all the top pages and start to answer questions with real content, real stories, real experiences, pictures, all that kind of stuff. And that's where you need the internal team member who understands Red Rhino, not working on like 15 different random things, but Red Rhino. And that's this person just focuses on Rhino.
Yeah.
Somebody in the Philippines for $500 a month or $1,000 a month. And that's all they do for their careers. They focus on Red Rhino, everything about Red Rhino.
That's crazy. I
Not
love it. I love it. Yeah.
And then you just build up a team. Like there's no secret magic bullet to this. You just need to have real information here. And then I was showing you our grading tools. We'll tell you what's missing and where you need to add stuff, which is nothing more than coming in and saying, okay, can you answer these other, if you want to rank on this, then you need to answer these questions too. And it could be as simple as, I mean, I'd even fly out to Omaha for a day and do a ride along and capture videos and pictures and all that. And then we stick it on the website and teach Ben and his team on how to do it. Watch us do it, and then his team takes it over.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. I mean, you're by far the most knowledgeable about what we've folks we've talked with about this. So
I'm not a salesperson.
well, you're not. You're like you said, you're probably an engineer of this, and that's really what we need. So, what would you like I said to me is like, what's our next step? How do we move forward on this?
You have a bit of a hybrid situation because you have multiple businesses. You said the roofing business is the one that you want to focus on more.
Right.
And you have a contract CFO or what a fractional CFO.
Yep.
Do you envision having like a centralized marketing team across all your companies?
So I used to own a marketing company, and me and one of the partners just couldn't see eye to eye. I still use him for some stuff today, but I just ended up going a separate direction. That was like 8 years ago. But I've always had, I've owned 43 businesses, so I've had a lot of reason for it. But I've always thought like in this, you can say this Erin that we use today, probably 80% of her business. I've talked to her about potentially coming on full time for us, but then building out a team around her for all of our companies.
Do you think she would come on full time?
Potentially. Yeah. I'd have to do a little persuasion. Then it'd have to be a little smoother.
Oh my! I just need to talk to her.
Yeah.
So you're a GM, so you understand managing multiple people and the things that come with personalities and performance and this kind of thing. So do you think it would be okay if we had Aaron come on and maybe a couple other people that you manage and you held them accountable to metrics and SOPs?
Absolutely.
Are people in the Philippines?
They can be they can be Omaha, Nebraska. I don't know where they are, as long as they do the work.
I like what the people in the Philippines charge.
Yeah, but you don't, the reason, John, you don't go to the Philippines because it's cheap. It's just like Tim Cook says, you don't go to China for iPhones because it's cheap, right?
No, I'm saying, but I'm assuming those folks there are skilled at one or two things. I mean,
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that suck too, just like anywhere, right? You have to weed for the quality people, right? There's good and bad. There's one main reason why you would go to the Philippines or these other places. It's not cost. It's because once you have someone who is quality, we call them A players, in that role, you want them to stay in that role forever.
mhm.
When you hire people in America, they stay in that role for 3 to 6 months and then they're off wanting to be an influencer, doing something else. And then you've lost that entire investment you've made in their training.
So I get it. Yeah. I mean,
The cost of replacement is the big cost. It's not we're paying them like $4 an hour. That's not the main thing,
yeah. No, I 100% agree. That is a huge thing because you do invest a lot of money, probably not even necessarily just the money, the time that you lose by training people.
The opportunity cost, and then having to retrain them, and then meanwhile the campaigns are broken, then you have to fix stuff, and that's more expensive than whatever you would pay them per month.
Yeah, yeah.
So even overpaying, like we have some VAs that are making $3,000 a month, which is that's like making $150,000 here. That's like living well, right? Pretty well for over there.
It's great.
But yeah, what I'd recommend is let's start month to month. Start with a base retainer. We call it the conversion engine package. It's $3,500 a month. And for that, let's focus first on Red. Our team will help with the digital plumbing. Ben will come in and ride along and see the things we're doing. I think I have a unique approach because we're not only doing it, but we want you to see what we're doing. We want you to ask questions and look. And I want Ben to connect with the Bens of other companies. There's a lot of Bens in other companies, and we want them all to collaborate. If you want to talk bad about any of their, complain, that's cool. But it's just kind of fun because, Ben can see other people that are Some are, several years ahead of him, some are behind, but there's a camaraderie in bringing everything in-house.
Yeah.
And I never see agencies do that. They never
Well,
let you have control over all your stuff or let you talk to the other people.
yeah, I like the idea of like having all your all your clients getting together and your what's the best of the best and brainstorming and how do you think outside the box
Yep.
or think like what is that I heard recently is like don't just think outside the box, think like there is no box.
Yeah. There is no spoon.
Yeah. So but where are you out of, Dennis?
I am out of the nearest airport, but I
You
fly.
live okay. Yeah, because I mean I'd be definitely interested in you, Ben, maybe Aaron, whether that's you fly here or they fly there, whatever, how you
Yeah,
hire.
for 2 or 3 days, you guys come out here and we'll have a good time, or I'll go to Omaha and whatever you got going on in Omaha, we'll do that.
Well, you tell me because I love Vegas, but we can come to Omaha. We can show you around here too.
So let's do both. We can
Okay.
set up a time. Do I have a conference in Omaha?
Hope to God not.
Well, I've been to Omaha times. Once for Lane Bryant, a few times.
Lane Bryant.
Lane Bryant's plus women's.
Yeah. That's what you just said. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so my buddy Jay was a CMO of Lane Bryant for a few years. So we did a lot of stuff for their stores and marketing. I see a conference in Omaha. I do
You
something.
work with Tommy Mello by chance?
Yeah, he's one of my favorite clients.
Yeah, that guy's a rock star, isn't he?
He is one of the most abundant mindset sorts of people. Except I've promised him I'll never work with another garage door company because some of his competitors will come to me and I'll say, "Hey Tommy, so and so called me." He's like, "Don't talk to him."
How about, have you heard of a guy, I think it was last name, Aaron Stokes?
Uh-uh.
He owns a coaching company for automotive shops called Shop Fix.
Shop ticks?
Fix Shop. He coaches about 1,500 people. Just crazy successful. I mean, the turnaround stories. He takes these guys and he's just a coach, but these shops turn around from making next to nothing, and pretty soon these stores are making 500-600 grand a piece.
Wow.
Pretty crazy, and then just growth minded too. He's out of Nashville. But
I could stop by Omaha on of April, 2 weeks from now.
I'll be back home. I'm headed to Mexico for a week again next week. But I'm back on the 30th.
Okay.
Can make that work. You get all day coaching on the 2nd, right, Ben? Is that so? The 1st we'd be available.
Yeah, we can pencil that in. Then I have to be in Vancouver or where are these random. No, I got to be in LA to speak, and then Vancouver and some other places.
Yeah, it's the opposite in Omaha, but
yeah. But for me, like when you get on an airplane and you just start working, it doesn't matter whether it's a 2-hour flight or a 5-hour flight. I'm just working.
Yeah.
At least for me, I don't mind it, and everything's first class for me because I'm a midget.
You guys got to be pretty committed. It's what, 9 o'clock there basically. And we were trying to get on your schedule, and we went to book one, and then it would be filled up, and then try to book the next one. And by the time we got through the online, it booked up, so we ended up 7 at night.
Well, I feel like in the game of entrepreneurship, it's not a 9 to 5 thing.
Yeah,
folks like Parker and I, we're all in. So we say, chickens lay eggs and pigs make bacon. We're pigs.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, like I said, I love being an entrepreneur. I've lived and breathed it all, but I'm definitely a starter. I'll do the operations when I have, but I love starting businesses, and how do I take a business and make it better?
Yeah.
But I need operators, and Ben's wired like I am, but Ben's a lot younger than I am, and he's got the ability to build and lead, but I don't want him to be. I don't want to ultimately have him in the weeds either. So one of the roles we're going to have to do is got to get better at hiring rock stars to fill in behind us.
To replace yourself.
Yeah.
Ben, you're John's nephew?
With better.
Yep.
So.
And your goal is basically as an entrepreneur to eventually take over these ventures?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love it.
So how are you and Parker related or connected?
Oh, he's my uncle. No.
Yeah, Parker's like my Ben.
Yeah. Well, I figure, how do you guys know each other and how long you known each other, Sarah?
We've known each other for about 2 years now. It's been all about.
Yeah, very cool.
There's a lot of Parkers and Bens. I'm very happy for them.
Yeah, well, we got to, I want to I want to give Ben the opportunity to change the world. And I got 3 daughters. I want to do the same thing too. And he's the same age as some of them. And that's one thing I probably, if it's like, to me, it's like, how do we change the world? How do we change the roofing world? Home inspection. I used to own the largest home inspection company in the nation.
Wow.
We were doing over 10,000 home inspections 15 years ago. And I think an opportunity there. My beauty business was a franchise of 160 stores one time. We can recreate that and build that. Mattress business is a great business, excuse my French, that I think it's a franchise that we bought into. If we can figure out the marketing on that side, I guarantee you that I can open you up to, all of their franchise system and work.
Franchises. Franchises are where you print money.
Yeah. Well, that's where once again, if we can figure out ways to simplify the system for people we sell the beauty store franchises to.
Yeah.
And where we just drop an owner in place and we give them all the tools and the marketing and the social and everything that goes along with it. Software. I mean, there's so many things that we can make better. I honestly have lacked having somebody who really knows technology and marketing. And even before AI got involved, just you'd hire somebody. They say, "Yeah, give me 3 months, I'll change the world." Well, all they did was change my bank account. But
they guaranteed that they would cash your check. That's the only guarantee.
Yeah. Right. Well, just 3 more months. We're really onto something. I said, "Well, I'm not seeing it," but
Google takes time.
Yeah. Just give me another 3 months of $1,500 a day or whatever. Anyway, I just
right.
But
that's marketing, though. That's for the course for marketing.
Yeah, they weren't good marketers. They were good salespeople because a lot of times I bought into the. But anyway, yeah, you got our emails. Whatever we need to. Let's get things figured out, and we'll plan on the 1st. We can make accommodations for you or whatever we need to. You let us know, and yeah, I'm excited about it.
Awesome. Well, can't wait to see you guys. We'll coordinate logistics. Parker is going to be the lead here. I view it as like John and I are sort of like the senior bosses, and then Ben and Parker are going to rally all the troops and get all the work done. And we're going to track everything inside our project management system, which is called Basecamp. It's the world's most popular project management system.
Yeah, fantastic.
Set expectations. We send out a report every Friday, and that shows 3 things. What are the things that we did, the metrics and the performance on that? What are the things we're going to do? And what are the things we need from you? And so that way we can see that work is getting done. And if things are slow or things change, that's fine. But we can always see what's going on and how we're performing, making the phone ring, what things are broken, what things we're testing, what worked or didn't work, but constant experimentation. And then what I would love to see is Ben and Parker get into this weekly that we call MAA, Metrics Analysis Action. And every Friday, John, you and I can come in and look at the report and see what's going on. And if we want to, we can then dig into Basecamp and look at any individual details of what's occurring. But that prevents us from having, like, we have to play 20 questions to ask, well, what's going on? I heard from you in a week. No one wants to play that game, chase you down, figure out, oh, I've been sick. Where were you? Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, awesome.
So we just start to get more stuff done, measure the incremental performance of that, and just solve problems in priority.
So you said you live in Vegas. Do you live, what part of Vegas do you live in?
Henderson.
I was going to say, it seems like everybody lives there.
Yeah.
I had a home inspection office in Vegas. That was one of my locations. God, what was it? I mean, when I was out there, literally 08 and 09, you could buy furnished for 200, 230, 40 grand.
Yeah.
I think those same houses are 800, 900 grand today.
More than that.
Yeah. Should have bought up a whole, and literally there were neighborhoods of 400, 500, 600 homes, all vacant. You remember that? I don't know how.
I remember. I was thinking I should have some homes, but I'm like, nah.
Yeah, that's risky. Yeah. Anyway, well, appreciate your time much. We'll look forward for the communication and look forward to rock and roll.